Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, and follow us on Apple and Spotify podcasts.
One of the best, probably position players down in that St. Louis area is committed to SIU Edwardsville. But they also have Matthew Crownhart coming in this year, outfielder, left-handed pitcher, 2027. And then they bring back one of my fan favorites from the Illinois State games this past summer, Isaac Wendler. He's a first baseman, right-handed pitcher, committed to Illinois Springfield. They've got a catcher in Scott Phelps who's going to Kaskaskia.
All right, episode 46 here of the Bullpen. Man, it was an awesome weekend of sports. Football, college basketball is back, but it snowed here in Central Illinois, and I think up by you guys too. Man, I tell you what, I'm not ready for that kind of weather yet. It's kind of funny. As it was snowing, I think it was yesterday, we had flurries coming down. I was like, it's crazy, like Midwest living, that last Wednesday we went and golfed together, and then today there's snow. Like, that is just the definition of the Midwest and how the weather changes. But I don't know about you guys, but I'm not ready for this yet.
I don't know how you could be, but I see it's already supposed to be like 59 or 60 this upcoming
Is it really?
weekend. Yeah, so just got to bear with this for a couple days. Maybe it's just a little tease of the winter, and we can go back to some halfway decent weather.
It's like the fake winter. There's always one. Fake winter, fake spring. You always get like a, tease a little bit. But yeah, my dad was like trying to get out and golf later this week, and I was not very hopeful of that, but I don't know. It seems like we might be able to.
Are any of you guys like big college basketball fans? Like, do you guys watch college basketball at all?
I'm a fan of like my two teams, but like I don't follow it enough nationally. Like, I kind of want to. It's just never been something I've like sat down and done. But Gab, I feel like you kind of are, right? And I saw Dane was shaking his head. What we got?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm kind of the same as you. I don't follow it as nationally like as I do with college football, I guess. And I think college football is easier to follow across the country than basketball is, just because it's probably more talked about, I guess, on ESPN or any of those sports podcasts or anything. But I'm just like a big Illinois basketball fan. I went to the game on Friday night, and they played Florida Gulf Coast, so it's kind of one of those early season games where you're not playing a big time team. But they play Texas Tech tomorrow night on Tuesday, which is a top 25 matchup. So I don't know. I'm super pumped. College basketball is like one of my favorite sports just to watch. And obviously in the Brad Underwood era, Illinois has always been pretty like consistently in the top 25, one of the better teams. So they're always fun to watch, and I'm pumped. They have a really good team this year. A lot of Euro guys, which is interesting. But it should be fun.
I've been hearing, aren't they calling them the Euro Illini this year?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they legitimately have. I think when they're healthy, their starting lineup will pretty much. I think it's going to be 5 Euro guys, and they have maybe 6 or 7 total this year. But that's kind of like a big thing for them, is they've been getting big into European recruiting, which I think obviously is kind of the trajectory of the NBA too. It seems like it.
So are those high school age guys? Because I saw there was like a huge tizzy a few weeks ago about, I forget what school it was. It might have been like Louisville, getting like G League guys.
Yeah.
Are these guys G Leaguers?
So no, they are. A few of the guys are 18. One of the guys was on the team last year, so I think he's maybe 19 or 20. And they got his twin brother, who obviously would be the same age. But I think that's it's interesting to me. I don't know for sure. But I know like one of the guys who was 18, I believe, played like technically in one of those Euro leagues last year. So it's not like it was high school. And I don't know how it exactly works over there, but I'm curious. This guy that came to Louisville in the G League, it's like, are these Euro guys going to be allowed to play in college basketball in the future? Because I don't know if they're getting paid. I don't know how it works over there in Europe, but like in a way it seems kind of like pro basketball. It's not. They're not playing high school ball. It doesn't seem like.
Where's Illinois ranked right now?
They're 17. I don't know if you guys follow Ken Pom. They're like a big college basketball like stat company, I guess. I think they use a lot of metrics to rank teams, and they have Illinois in the top 10. Which it doesn't really matter. Like, you'll see like tomorrow when they play Texas Tech, that's when we'll kind of see where they're actually matched up. But I mean, they've beaten the two teams they've played so far by like 40, so they're having a pretty good start to the year. So it's crazy, like the depth since, like it's probably the most deep team that I've seen Illinois have since Underwood's been here. There's just so much talent all across the board. It's awesome to see.
Well, it
Yeah,
seems
where's
like
that
every
game
year
at?
since he's
It's
Yeah,
at
where is
Illinois.
that?
It's at
Oh.
home.
Are you going?
I'm not. I don't think I am. I'm gonna wait. I want to go to the next game I go to will probably be a conference game.
Does Penn State come to Illinois this year, Gav?
I don't know, but I honestly, I don't know. Is Penn State supposed to be good this year? And even if they're not, I kind of hate when they play Penn State because I feel like the past couple of years we always text each other, and I feel like Penn State has kind of
January. Oh wait, no.
they've
no,
beaten
sorry.
up on Illinois. I feel like
It doesn't look like they go to Illinois this year. I was gonna say, maybe I'll come out. We'll go see a game, but
I wonder if the expansion of the conference has totally changed around, like, because they used to do like home and home, right? Like you'd go to Purdue and then Purdue would play. I'd be curious how much that's changed it. It seems like ever since Underwood's been at Illinois, they're yearly in the top 25, really competitive. Interesting, they're going the Euro route. I wonder if the golf team has rubbed off on them at all, because I know the golf team has been huge going to Sweden and over to Europe, and they're like a top 5 golf program in the country. That might even be selling them a little short. They might be like a top 3 golf team in the country.
they're really good.
But, no, talking college basketball, like I've definitely lost not interest, but just like I don't keep up with it nearly as much as I used to growing up. In high school, I was a huge college basketball fan, whether it was North Carolina or Ed Cota. You can look him up, throwback point guard there. But no, my uncles were huge and are huge Illinois basketball fans, so I would go to occasional games. And Hammond, I'm guessing you follow Northwestern?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, for a while there, they were quite literally like the worst team in college basketball. Like they had the longest drought of making the tournament, the dance. But I'm just looking at this roster. They got a dude from Serbia. They got a 7-footer from Croatia. Another guy from Croatia. Greece.
Is
That's
this
a cool one.
Northwestern's roster you're
No,
breaking down right now?
this is
Illinois?
U of I.
Gotcha.
Greece, Puerto Rico. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I don't know if you guys remember the name Peja Stojakovic. He played for the Kings.
Oh yeah.
His son is actually their small forward now. He's on Friday night. That was his first game. Like he's kind of got hurt, I think, in the offseason a little bit, his knee or something. So that was his first game back, and he was really good last year.
How was the vibe down there at Assembly Hall? Good?
Oh my god! I'm glad you brought that up because I don't know, Drew. It sounds like you've been, but I don't know if the other 3 of you guys have been to Assembly Hall. It kind of drives me nuts, by the way. They call it State Farm Center now, but
oh, do they?
Yeah,
sorry.
I call it Assembly Hall.
The advertising there.
No, yeah, but it is, in my opinion. Again, I've only been to a few Illinois college stadiums. It's not like I've been to North Carolina or Duke or any of those places, but Assembly Hall has got to be one of the best places to watch a college basketball game. Just the seating, like there's no bad seat, and just the vibe there. Everybody, it's loud, it's crazy. The Orange Crush is awesome. Like it's a great place to watch. Just one of my favorite places to watch a sports game in general. No matter the sport.
The Big Ten, growing up, has always been an awesome just college basketball conference. Like Indiana, they haven't been great recently, but when I was at Purdue for the year that I was there, like I was not expecting it, and I randomly went to a game, walked in, and like the place was exploding.
Mm-hmm.
I could not believe it. Not that it was any worse or better than an Illinois game. It just I didn't realize what I was getting myself into. So I think there's some really good fan bases and some stadiums around the country. But yeah, Illinois, curious to see how they do this year.
Yeah, me too.
I'll be following.
I always have too high of hopes before the season, so I'm trying to like chill out a little bit, and we'll see how they do when they play a team like Texas Tech. But yeah, I'm always rooting for them.
How's Bradley looking,
Yeah.
Dane? They got a
They just picked
solid
up the first.
squad.
Yeah, it's a lot of newcomers. A lot of the top guys graduated, so got the first W. I think they won by like 32 over Central Michigan Saturday night. So first home game. So should be a good year. A lot of question marks in the Valley. I think my early take right now is Murray State might take it, but Bradley hopefully can get up there.
You just don't want to talk about the Birds, do you?
I mean, no.
I figured. Well, they were apparently they were the preseason Missouri Valley. Like people are predicting them to win the tournament or the
They were.
conference. So we'll see.
Well, I always have a soft spot for SIU, Southern Illinois. Growing up, they made some Sweet 16s when I was like a freshman in high school and stuff like that. They were always really solid. They had a head coach, Brian Mullins, recently. I don't think he's still there, but he's a Downers Grove guy, Pete. Played against him in high school. He used to work me over. But no, I always huge fan of them. They used to have some really, really good teams down there, but I have no idea how they're supposed to be this year.
So last week I caught some slack from Tyler, and I think if you listen back to the episode, you probably can't hear exactly the interaction we had. I think I cut some of it out. But Tyler, I'm gonna say here that the Bears won. We got a dub yesterday, so some fourth quarter comeback action by Caleb and the Bears. So fire me up. I'll leave it at that. If anybody's got anything else they want to touch on, but that's what I got.
Well, I think we proved we can talk about the Bears and have them still win a game, and we're a little stitious, but like I think we proved that we can talk about it. I mean, they're really fun. Like I said last week, like I trust Caleb in those late situations. Like he's got that look in his eye. He's proven it time and time again. I mean, I was not expecting this comeback. I thought we were dead to rights when it was 20-10, but yeah, I mean, it's just a fun team, man.
Yeah, fourth quarter
defense
magic.
is terrible though.
Yeah, we'll see. We got to fix some things. Love Ben Johnson. So that's what I got. Love Ben Johnson. Colson Loveland, huge catch there in the fourth. Caleb using his legs late. Yeah, I think I speak for all you guys. Like it was not trending well. But they have totally changed my vibe and faith late in games. And I honestly, a couple of years ago, like I'd maybe be turning that game off. And now, the back of my mind's like, yeah, we could still pull this off. There's enough time. And to see them put together those two drives and then get a stop. And I mean, Jackson Dart going out of that game to me was the turning point. Cause he was looking really, really good, but you can't, what is it? You can't apologize for a win in this league. What's the saying? So they got a dub, Gav. Things are going to get really, really tough here moving forward. We got some conference division games coming up. I think we go to Minnesota next week. So, yeah, that'll be a big test.
I just appreciate seeing 6-3 in their standings. I did not expect that personally, so I appreciate that, and we'll take it for what it's worth, I guess. Because last year that obviously was not the case. So yeah, go Bears. College football though, don't have a ton myself, but just quickly the Wisconsin game for anyone that saw that. We were talking beforehand. Their starting quarterback had like 8 passing yards, and they somehow upset Washington, who was 24 at the time. Their punter had more passing yards than their quarterback. I'm assuming they had like some trick play or something, but I don't know. Do you guys got anything else on college football or anything you want to touch on?
Just welcome to the Big Ten, Washington. That's what it's like.
Yeah. All right. Well, the preseason ID schedule, Drew. It's we're releasing it this week nationally. I know we've kind of had it up on our site for a couple weeks now, but you got anything you want to mention on that?
It should be a really, really busy and fun winter. Really looking forward to seeing guys that have made huge strides over the winter. This is a big part of the year for these high school athletes. Putting the ball down and hitting the weights, working on functional strength, on athleticism, agility, speed training. And then, once they ramp back up and it's kind of the start of the year with their arm care and weighted balls or whatever they're doing. It's a beautiful thing getting to go around the state and see these guys and maybe guys we've never seen before who kind of come onto the scene and make a name for themselves and kind of get themselves on that follow list for the spring. That's what the preseason ID is all about. Obviously updating some video stats, getting, in front of us, and then getting those follows and tracking them down in the spring and watching them play in the game. The swings that we like, the athletes we like, the actions on defense, maybe the arm talent on the mound, and then, hey, let's go see, who can compete in a game. who can get it done when the lights are on, and that's what it's all about. No, I'm ready for it to be here. I know we've got a couple months still, but we'll be starting up in mid to late January, running through February, right to the start of the high school practice tryouts, and then we'll be out, in full force watching stuff this spring. So that's what I have on preseason ID release. Like, we try to get to all different pockets of the state, depending on facilities, stuff like that. It's easier said than done. But man, really hoping that we get a good look at a lot of guys. And then just a bit of news I had, Gavin, that's a little bit off topic, but something I was following. Just Naperville North, shout out. I got to shout out the alum there. The boys soccer team took home the state title. 3A state title this past weekend in that, I think it was the same night, it was Saturday night, Gavin, where it was nasty weather up there in that Wisconsin game. They were up in Hoffman Estates. I think it went double overtime. I could be wrong. Maybe. Oh no, it went PK. I think they won in PKs. So feel free, any Naperville North people, to correct me there if I'm wrong. But it was 2-2. They scored late to tie it in regulation at 2, and then went all the way to PKs. Got it done, and it just something that for me is cool to see, because growing up when I was at Naperville North, a lot of my good friends played on the soccer team. One of my best friends to this day played on that soccer team, and kind of like some of our core group were soccer players. So wanted to shout them out, and huge win for the Huskies there.
Drew, I got a couple quick questions. What is PK?
Yeah.
And 2, has Naperville North, is that, did your buddies go to state? Is this like a kind of a big deal, like first time kind of thing for them to win state?
Yeah, that's a great call out. I know we were always solid. I do know when I was in high school, a lot of the best players were playing club, and sometimes not playing for their high school team. I don't know if that's still the case for boys, girls, what the deal is. And shout out my wife. She won a state title for St. Viator back in the day.
Oh, nice.
But I had to kind of mix that in there. Yeah. I don't know. I do know, our girls' soccer team was really good when I was there. I remember going to some games at North Central College where I think they might have had state there. And that's a unique thing about the soccer, is they played state at Hoffman Estates High School. So I don't know how that all gets selected. Just very different than baseball, where it's, been at Joliet every year. Maybe it always is at Hoffman Estates or something, but just being at a high school, I thought was unique. And yeah, I don't know, Gab, you're putting me on the spot. It's a great question. I wish I had more info on what our records were back in the day, but I do know Coach Conrad, the soccer coach, has been there ever since I was there and is a well-respected coach in the area.
And so what about PK though? Sorry, I'm not a soccer guy. I don't know what that means.
It was penalty shootout, penalty kick.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So kind of like in hockey, how they'll do the I guess penalty shootout. Yeah, shootouts at the end, I guess is what it's called in hockey. I should know that. I fancy myself to be a hockey fan, so
I think it's just a shootout.
Yeah, just a shootout. So, but yeah, in soccer it's a PK.
Okay.
And,
Hey, speaking of shootouts, what about these Hawks, man? They're looking good.
It's awesome.
I think went under the rug yesterday because they played at the same time as the Bears. Sorry, I can't speak.
Yep.
But they destroyed Detroit in the old school rivalry game, up in Detroit. So just want to shout them out. Fun.
That's an awesome shout out, because Bedard is second in the league in points right now.
Yeah. Anybody on his line is just getting goals galore right now. So. And
I think he scored the first goal yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't watch any of the game. I just saw that they won 5-1 or something like that. And that might have been late in the game. I don't know what the final score was.
It was really early. His goal was really early.
Yeah, I think it was first
minute.
Yeah. I need to figure out a way to get the Hawks on my TV here. So that's going to be a goal of mine over the next week or two, is figuring out how to watch Chicago sports, because I know the Bulls are playing pretty well as well. But no, love the Hawks, and Chicago sports is hopefully trending in the right direction here.
Yeah, seeing those Bedard and Kane comparisons are pretty cool. And then did I see that Keith was just inducted into the Hall of Fame, or was that old news? Duncan Keith.
I don't know, but he should be. If he wasn't already, that guy was an absolute stud. And whether it was the Blackhawks Hall of Fame or NHL Hall of Fame, I don't know.
That's a good call.
Making me want to Google that, though.
Maybe
whether
he's
it's retiring his
Blackhawks.
jersey. Man,
Yeah, I
our
mean,
our
I don't,
entire defense for the Hawks there in the 2010s with Jalmerson and Keith and Seabrook and oh man, there's a lot of good ones that came through.
yeah, Dustin Buffin was my guy. But I guess like maybe it's just me, but like I didn't realize how good like Keith was at when I was younger. Like I kind of thought like yeah, he's good. Like he's good for my team. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know he was that good compared to everybody else. So like finding out that like Keith and Kane were both like all decade, like first team all decade guys was like oh wow, I didn't know we were that good. But maybe it's
And
just like not knowing.
shout out Jonathan Taves back in the league. Like he went through all kinds of stuff with his health, and I don't truly know what exactly was going on, but I saw he scored a goal the other day, and that fired me up because that guy was like the all-time teammate, captain for the Hawks, the heart and soul of that squad. Um, so really, really cool to see him.
And speaking of the preseason ID release, Drew, the Procase, the roster is starting to kind of fill up a little bit. Just looking at the roster this morning, it looks like we have some pretty good names heading to that event.
I'm fired up for it. You talking preseason ID like you're saying, like the Procase, it basically leads off our events for the year. This year we are having an Aurora preseason ID right before the Procase, but the names that are coming through, especially I love the mix right now we have of Illinois, Wisconsin. We've got some arms coming down from Wisconsin. We've got a couple position guys, and then in Illinois, like Anthony Chavez has been one of like the biggest risers with his left-handed bat over the past, I don't know, 6-7 months. Ever since the end of the spring season when I saw him into the summer. Ryan Dunchin, Caden Shotzik, Addison Latko, and Max Heineman, two catchers that can really swing the bat. James Fiegelson at St. Charles East. I think he'll draw some eyes, just kind of really checks a lot of boxes there. Brandon Thompson, catcher out of St. Viator. He's got a ton of tools. Really, really good arm from behind the plate, and he's got power with the bat. So Trey Kirchhoff coming down from Wisconsin. He was one of my favorites. I saw him last summer playing. And hopefully it'll just continue to get better, Gav. Really excited to see how this roster shapes up. But I don't know the total number right now. Let me see. 5, 10. Yeah, we're almost at like 15 guys. So trending in the right direction. It is an event that like we're not trying to get 50 guys. We're trying to get the right guys, the guys that should be seen by pro scouts that are trying to earn a spot to the Super 60. And even if they don't earn a spot to the Super 60, get on some of these scouts' radars before their final spring. So such a nice thing to see here, the way this event is trending already.
Yeah, and then Dane, before we talk about like some of this Illinois State game stuff, like the commitments, how many we're at, recent commitments, I just wanted to shout out like the recruiting roundup stories you've been doing every Friday. Like for anyone interested in looking at what players have committed where in the past week, just go ahead every Friday. We'll have a recruiting roundup story coming out. Dane is kind of in charge of doing that. So if you don't see your name on there and you have committed, just make sure you request to have your profile changed and committed and send something into us so we know that you've committed. And we typically don't post or announce anything on our socials unless we've seen that you've done it on your Twitter or Instagram yourself, just so we're not the ones announcing it for you in case you haven't talked to coaches or anything like that. But just as a heads up, just wanted to shout that out. But yeah, Dane, what do we got? How many state games commits are we at now? Who were some big commitments last week?
Yeah, we're over 145 commitments at this point. John A. Logan is starting to climb up the boards in terms of JUCO commits. They have Blackwell, Janikos, and Umbright, and they're kind of building quite the arm barn right now. Also getting Braden McKendrick and Logan Hickman, two guys that didn't show up to the state games, but we saw them plenty over this past year. And then there's potentially another couple guys going over there, but John A is they're always legit, and it looks like they're getting some big time arms right now. And then in terms of our big commitments statewide, Mikey Watson and Landon Clements both going to UIC, two big time 2027 infielders. Very fun duo to head to the Flames. Colin Doyle going to Duke, which is a like 6'8", I think, frame. Heading over to Duke, hitting 90. Cole Brent is the guy that's been rising consistently on our boards. He's heading over to UIV. He's going to be with the Illini. Ryan Wilberding is a future gamer that commits to Marshall, big time catcher for Libertyville. And then Mason Bruce is also another future gamer that's committed to Michigan State on Friday. So some big time names out there.
It was a busy week. Love to see these guys like Mikey Watson, huge riser, like you said, high end athlete, like sub 6'7" runner, can kind of play all over the field, but plays shortstop. Landon Clement. I feel like UIC's been busy, and they've been getting some good ones. So shout out there. Colin Doyle, P. He was like one of your favorites throughout the spring. Invited to future games, couldn't make it down, but there. I mean, obviously had the talent there, committing to Duke. And yeah, Dane, you said it perfectly. Like Cole Brent, huge riser. I think right now, like just shouting it out to the world, like he's probably too low on our rankings. And that's okay. Like we will update it. Those updates are actually coming here pretty soon, Gavin. So we'll be updating every class kind of before the winter really hits home. But Cole Brent, really athletic, left-handed hitting outfielder from normal U High, going over there to Illinois. And yeah, Mason Breach had one of those best outings at the future games. He was a part of that first game where everything was going Illinois' direction against Team Indiana, and he was just kind of sinking that fastball, landing the breaking ball for a strike. And he's also a very capable outfielder in his own right. Like he's definitely a impact two-way guy in high school. My guess is that he's going to be going to Michigan State as an arm, but really, really busy, good week of commits here.
All right, let's take a look at the hot list. Last week, we kind of came through, or on Friday when we had our meeting, we talked through some new topics to add. So right now, we've got best athlete, our favorite high school logo, best uniforms, best field, and then our favorite game attended. And actually, the topic for this week is going to be best athlete, which was the final one that had not gotten chosen yet, or I guess the wheel didn't spin on it yet. So best athlete this week in all classes. So if anyone's got anything, feel free. I'm going to need to take a sec to look through here.
I mean, I'll go with something right off the top of my head. We were chatting about him, I think, off air a week or two ago, but Keaton Reinke, St. Charles North, committed to Northwestern for football. He is a big-time wide receiver. He was a future gamer in 2024. He was a starter at St. Charles North as a freshman, as a position guy, playing alongside his brother there who also played in the outfield. But speaks to his athleticism. I think he's kind of developed on the baseball field into more of an impact arm. He's got all kinds of arm talent, running it up into the low 90s, lands the breaking ball for a strike, but really, really good wide receiver, like 6'4", thoroughbred type, athlete. I like to throw that one out there, but huge fan of Keaton Reinke, the makeup, and he just kind of jumps off the page as that overall athlete with the quality build that's going to look the part on the football field. And if he ever chooses to get on the mound and play baseball in college or whatever it is, like, he will be able to be a Division I arm at the same time, speaking to his overall athleticism.
Yeah, I mean, kind of a reversal of that. I'll take Brady Cunningham, who's obviously a stud on the baseball field, but if he wanted to play edge in football, like, I would not put it past that dude. I don't think he plays football, but it seems like he easily could. But I mean, he, for his size, is easily the most impressive athlete in the state, just with like what he does at that size. I mean, he was like towards the top of the leaderboard at the future games for peak run speed with over 20 miles an hour, and then same with jump height. And that's like the best of the best in the country, and he was up at the top with those guys. And like, credit to his work ethic, like he's made like noticeable strides over the past few years, and I'm sure he's going to keep it moving. But like, I mean, that kid just works his butt off. The makeup's off the charts as well. And yeah, really, really impressed with that kid.
I'm pretty sure too with him, like, I'm going to be making up a number a little bit on the fly because I can't remember, but Brother Rice does like athletic testing or, in their weight training class or whatever. And I saw a video on Instagram of him doing the vert height, and it's like a jump mat kind of thing that they have. And I want to say he was like 37 inches or something unreal, 38 inches maybe.
Yeah, I
at
know
their school.
ours. Yeah, I know ours measures it a little differently, so the numbers are
Okay.
different, but for like how ours measures it, like it's off the charts, basically.
Yeah. Yep.
He's a freak.
Yeah, he's free.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great call on choosing Brady Cunningham. And you said it, given his size, he's an absolute freak and does it on both sides of the ball as well.
So yeah, I gotta go here with Drew. You kind of spurred an idea here, talking a football player as well. I'm gonna go with Glenwood's Dylan Huff, right-handed pitcher. Also is an outfielder for them, I believe, is where he plays in the spring. But also a wide receiver for them in the spring or in the fall, sorry. And I'm sending you guys this clip right now on Twitter that I saw a few weeks ago of him making like an insane catch for a touchdown. In the end zone for Glenwood there to beat Sacred Heart Griffin. And I don't know, he's just an interesting arm that we've always liked. Really good spin on the slider, upper 80s fastball. But then, I mean, you watch this video on the gridiron. He's just an absolute athlete too, making plays for Glenwood there.
I'm gonna go with another football guy. So I don't know if you got a football. This guy has some offers. He's a future gamer for us this past summer. He got some offers on the gridiron. I'm gonna go with Josh Morgan. Super athletic. He ran a 6.58 at the future games. Also had 25.7 max vert height, 21.9 run speed. He can cover plenty of ground out in the outfield, and apparently he's a pretty good football player as well. So I'm gonna go with Josh Morgan.
Like that shout out. For obvious reasons, he has a Penn State offer, so I love that call there. But I'm gonna go with another future gamer. And it's kind of funny how this is almost turning into like a best two-sport athlete. But I'm going with Carson Trivellini here out of Crystal Lake South. On the baseball field, he's a true shortstop, right? I think what really impressed me when I saw him in the spring and again this summer at future games is just how natural he looks at the shortstop position. Right-handed hitter, can really hold his own. He's committed to Illinois now. I don't know if I said that or not, but then on the basketball court, he was all conference in the Fox Valley this past winter, and he was also an all area selection. So can get it done on both the basketball court and on the diamond. So that's who I'm going to go with for best athlete.
I'm going to throw out another guy here, Zane Caves in Minooka. 3-sport athlete, left-handed pitcher, and I love it on the mound. Another Michigan State commit. I don't know his, the quality that he is as a football player, a basketball player, but he's every bit of like 6'5", really looks the part. And playing 3 varsity sports at any high school, you got to be a high-end athlete. So giving Zane Caves a little love there out of Minooka.
And how about Adam Swanson too? Like from Ottawa, I feel like he's going to Bradley, but he's always been one of those guys that, in terms of the athletic testing at our events, he usually sits at the top. Right now at the Illinois State games, that was his most recent event that he attended. He ran a 6.62 60 time, and then trying to find his jump height here, 29.4 inches vertical jump height on our jump mat. So I don't know. I just feel like he's always one of those guys, just kind of a freak athlete and has freakish tools too.
I like this category because I just want to keep shouting out guys. Johnny O'Brien at Fremd. I love him. Outfielder, used to be a left-handed pitcher, but he's committed to Northwestern as a quarterback. I don't even know if he's going to play his final spring baseball season or if he's going to go to Northwestern early. He's a 2026, but I got to look at Fremd this past spring, and Johnny O'Brien really, really stood out. First off, the frame, the left-handed swing, the fluidness, and just the athlete. You watch him run around the bases, that's the way it should look. I was getting plus run times on him, can really play center field. To me, if he wanted to, he could probably be a 2-sport college athlete. Now, I know that's hard being a quarterback, but kind of following in the footsteps of Jack Lausch there out of Brother Rice, who was a high-end center fielder, went to Northwestern as a quarterback. Now he's playing on Northwestern's baseball team. Jack Lausch, that's a name to keep an eye out for as far as the draft, as far as Big Ten this year. Kind of cut out of the same cloth there. I love Johnny O'Brien. Yeah,
similar to Ryan Key. Ian Campbell is a Division I football commit. I think he's a defensive lineman / linebacker committed to Navy. But, I mean, he's an arm for Joliet Catholic that'll run it up 94. Maybe I've heard 95. And just the way that kid can move at that size is extremely impressive. And I don't know if you can't tell, I like the big guys that can move. But he's just you got to see it. I mean, just to like appreciate it, but it's really, really impressive.
All right, do we want to look at our way too early spring outlook again this week? I know last week we talked through Libertyville, Brother Rice, St. Lawrence, Normal Community, and Morton. So we're going to try and talk about some other teams around the state that we think have a shot at making a deep run again, maybe, or just having a good year in general. So I've got one. If I don't want to kick it off the bat, though, I'll let you guys kind of get in there first. But
I have a couple that I was struggling with, and me being first pick, this is killing me because I was hoping maybe somebody would jump in and take one of these and make it easier for me. But admittedly, this is a team I've been high on going on like my third straight spring. And I feel like everything for this school has kind of been building to 2026, and that's Mount Carmel. Arguably the best 2026 class in the entire state. On the mound, you're going to have Connor Ellentenney, who's going to Notre Dame. You'll have Jake Matisse, who's going to Lewis. And then they also get back Ian Tosi this spring, who's committed to Miami, was a future gamer for us last summer. Don't know exactly if they're going to get Tosi at the beginning of the year, middle of the year, at the end of the year. To me, I don't think it matters. I think whatever they can get out of Ian Tosi this spring is a huge plus. The type of competitor he is and the type of stuff he has. Why I'm so high on Mount Carmel going into this year is what I saw out of them at the end of last year. I want to say it was a sectional final game against Brother Rice. And watching Connor Ellentenney on the mound, it was a totally different Ellentenney I feel like any of us on this call had seen in the past. The type of confidence and the type of conviction he was pitching with had me fired up to see what he's going to do this spring. But they're going to have arms, and then they have the bats to pair. You got TJ McQuillan, you got Joey Ireland, Holland. I'm missing his first name. Somebody help me. Brady Holland. Yeah. Who's going to Georgetown. Like, they have bats. They have Logan Fernandez as well. Like, they
Pancho
are
Vasquez,
not
Mario
yeah.
Medina. Yeah.
Like, they're not shy of talent at all. They play in arguably the best conference in the state, in the CCL. So they're battle tested every year. And I feel like the last two springs they've kind of made sneaky runs where they don't have the most impressive regular season. But once it gets to postseason time, they get it going. So admittedly, it's a team that I think could have a case to like be a preseason top 5 just on paper alone. We obviously take other things into consideration, but Mount Carmel is a team I'm just very excited to see what they do this spring.
I feel bad. This is probably who Drew was going to take, so he can feel free to get in with me if he wants. But Lincoln Way East, that's a team that has like over, since the spring has ended, I feel like we've just kept finding guys that we didn't know about that we've become really high on. I mean, their 27s are absolutely loaded. So these are all guys in the top 150 that I'm about to say in the 27 rankings. We got Cooper Johnson, Evan Riff, Rocco Triolo, Casey Mickret, Colin Bettenhausen, and Nate Kaminsky. Those are all in the top 150 for 2027s. And then you move to 2026. They got Jacob Newman, who we already know is a premium glove, can handle Jack Bauer, so he can handle basically anyone. Ty Hudick, Ryan Flanagan, Owen Lenz, AJ Lawrencell, and Cade Everett. I mean, the list just kind of goes on with them, and I'm sure there's even more guys that we just haven't seen. I mean, those Lincoln Ways, like all of them, they all got talent. They all got depth. So that's one to watch. I mean, they made a splash last year. They were a fun team. And I mean, obviously they lost Bauer, but it seems like they've replaced, they're bringing back a ton of talent with some new guys coming in. They should be a fun one to watch for sure.
No, they should be able to really, really pick it on the infield. They should have plenty of arms. I like that call a lot. I'm going to go with somebody that I'm not sure how they're going to be because they lose a ton of 2025s, but they have been top of the class when it comes to small schools the past couple of years, and that's Father McGivney. So right out of the gate, like I love Omar Avalos. He just keeps doing it every time we see him. He's a performer, one of the best, probably position players down in that St. Louis area. Is committed to SIU Edwardsville. But they also have Matthew Crownhart coming in this year, outfielder, left-handed pitcher, 2027. And then they bring back one of my fan favorites from the Illinois State games this past summer, Isaac Wendler. He's a first baseman, right-handed pitcher, committed to Illinois Springfield. They've got a catcher in Scott Phelps who's going to Kaskaskia. They've got Ty Etchison on the infield going to John Wood. And I'm sure there's going to be others that kind of come out of the woodworks. I know Jack Rolvis is a guy we've seen in event in the past that guy can just continues to develop and get stronger. I would think he'll impact a varsity squad here soon. So Father McGivney, they've just done a really, really good job over the last couple of years. I think they're going to be a team to watch. Have no idea where they'll slot in. They'll be a great team. Like, hopefully we'll see a couple more of their guys this winter, get a little bit better understanding of their squad. And just when we send out these preseason questionnaires and seeing what they bring back. But that's a team I'm kind of keeping my eye on down in Southern Illinois.
Yeah, Dane, I apologize for this, but I'm going to take the 2A state champion, Sacred Heart Griffin. I know that was
That's criminal.
that
Do
was
it for Dane.
that's why Dane. That's why you got to raise your
I was
hand here
just
on
about
Riverside
to
and get in
take
there
him,
quick.
man. Dang.
That's why you got to get in there quicker than that, man. But yeah, I mean, they lost two seniors last year that on a team that won. They returned 147 innings on the mound, and then five returners hit 300 or over 300 last year. I was just kind of looking at their schedule. Last year they played like Edwardsville and just kind of had a tougher schedule. And again, this year, just looking at it, they're going to play Oak Park River Forest. They're going to play St. Joe Ogden, Champaign Central, Edwardsville, Glenwood, Morton, Rochester, like Triads on there, Normal University, East Peoria. Like they're going to play some really good teams. So I think they're going to be battle tested come playoff time. Um, and they just again return a ton from last year's state final team. So Dane, apologize for taking him there or taking them there, but I had to.
They lose their top guy in Antonacci. He's going to the Heartland. He was kind of their top arm and also their big power bat. But also they're returning Carson Butler, Drew Ward, Ty Springer, Will Pennell. Like that's a really good 26 class on top of a really fun 27 class with Austin Rudder and Mikey Roche and Ethan Core. So as I'm typing out this team and how I was going to go about talking about them, Gavin put down the hammer. So now I'm going to have to retreat and find a different team here.
No, those are a bunch of really good names you just shouted out too. You mentioned Antonacci, and I want to kind of just parlay off of this because we've been eyeing this Arizona Fall League. Couple Illinois guys that are impacting it, and we've brought it up in the past. But man, Sam Antonacci, talk about making a name for yourself, and like he's going to be knocking on the door of the big leagues if he keeps this up. Because I mean, just a couple days ago, I saw a Instagram post, and I believe it was from maybe the MLB Draft League or something like that we have a part in. Through 18 games in this fall league, he's hitting 394 with 3 home runs, 3 doubles, 14 RBIs, 23 runs scored. The 391 average is good for third in the fall league, and he's got more walks. He's got 14 walks to 10 strikeouts. And like him scoring a bunch of runs is nothing new for him. When he was at Coastal Carolina, he was leading the country in runs scored. I don't know when the year ended if that, if he held that mantle still, but it is so awesome to see Sacred Heart Griffin product. Sam Antonacci just doing his thing in the fall league against some of the best prospects in the game.
Yeah, I'll hop in here. I'll give some love to stay in the Central Illinois and Peoria area. I'm gonna go with Dunlap. 26 class, they got Truman Tyra and Landon Gray, 2 guys that can out in the outfield. Same thing with Simon Malcolm, a utility guy that's kind of all over the place. I felt like I went to about 4 of their games last spring, and I feel like he was at a different position each time. He excelled at all of them, honestly. 27s, you got Eli Mechanicu, Carter Lippens, who can pump up into the upper 80s. Isaac Babbs, a low to mid 80s arm as well to keep an eye on that roster. And then Ryder Burnett, we talked about him plenty. He's a middle infielder that can do it all. Top of the order type of bat that just performs at every level in front of us.
And looking at the Illinois State Games scouting reports now, we're talking through 2028 pitchers. So for people that have not been consistently listening each week, for probably the past month or month and a half now, we've talked through the breakdown of our Illinois State Games scouting report articles that we released. I think we started with 2026 catchers all the way down now to 28 pitchers, talking through infielders, outfielders, and pitchers of each class. So today we're talking through 28 pitchers, and we're each going to take an arm that we like from that event. So who do you guys got?
Yeah, just someone I want to push all my chips in on and, buy stock in. Austin Leapart from Providence Catholic. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of how you draw up the frame. I mean, he's 5'11", 145, so there's plenty of room to continue to add strength. The waist goes up to his neck like it's legs for days. That kid's not done growing. But it's the movement patterns for me, like silky, really projects, like gets in all the right positions with ease. It's fluid. And at the state games, he was 81 to 83, and showing a curveball. But we've had him up to 85, and I know Tyler can speak to it as well. Like, he was a winner for us at the super sophomore games, threw it really, really well. And he can also play third base a little bit, but for me, I like him on the mound. That's where I'm going to dream on him. And I'm excited to see, that kid just continue to get better and what that kid can turn into, because I think he's got a chance to be really special.
I can hop in here next. Kind of a dark horse guy that after the state games, I kind of went back through my notes and watched some video, and it was like, I remember really liking this kid during the state games, and I like it a little bit more now that we're removed, but Eddie Perez out of Maine West, he's a right-handed arm, throws from kind of a lower slot. To me, he just looks pretty raw on the mound. Like, I don't think this kid's obviously he's a 2028, he's got a ways to go, but I don't think he's anywhere near scratching the surface of what he could be on the mound. I think the shape is right with his slider as well, so there's a ton of potential for that to be a high potential second offering. Trying to spit out the words, but Eddie Perez, really liked it at state games. He's 6'1", 160, so a ton of room to go in that frame, but that's just a guy I got my eyes on as we move into the winter months and furthermore into the spring.
Yeah, I'll hop in here. I'm gonna go with El Paso Grizzlies' Blake Harris, big body, 6'6". Yeah, take that, Gavin. How's it feel, buddy? All right. He's a low to mid 80s arm. He can absolutely get up to upper 80s, low 90s. It's definitely in there. A big 2028 to keep an eye on. Has a 3-pitch mix that he showed well throughout the showing. So I'm gonna go with Blake Harris.
He's already making some jumps, Dane. He was, what was he, like 85 at the state games, I think, and he was 88 when we saw him in the fall. So already making jumps. So good eye.
I'll go here with Ryan Pipkins, a 2028 from Champaign Central. Really kind of a guy that we've just continued to like. He's one of the top arms or top prospects in the class, a top 10 kid. He's really a two-way player. But an arm that I know performed a lot for Champaign Central last year as a freshman on the mound. Pretty easy delivery. He repeats. It's a low 80s arm. Has a pretty good breaking ball. So I'm going Ryan Pipkins out of that 2028 class.
Let's go. We got 2 Champaign Central arms we're choosing because I'm going Nick Braultz. I loved it. I got to see it live there at the Illinois State Games. He's an athlete, and I think that's what I like most. And you dig into Champaign Central a little bit, like, man, have they had some good prospects come out of there, Gavin. I just doing a little research, like Jake Monroe is from there. Had a huge career down at John A. Logan, went to Louisville, did his thing down at Louisville. But Joel Sarver was an arm that came out of Champaign Central, I believe, then ended up, he was a JUCO guy and then ended up at UNC Charlotte. And had a really good career there. But then you got Tanner Gordon, a big leaguer. You got Jeff Lindgren. These are some throwback names, but Nick Braultz, I think he's going to be a name to watch in the coming years. He was up to 86 at the state games, threw 2 different breaking balls. The slider was 74-77 with 2,400 spin and threw a lot of strikes. I like the way he gets down the mound. He's clean. It's like presently like a pretty strong athletic frame with more to come. Really, really looks the part. Like him as a position guy too. Can play the infield. But Nick Braultz, Champaign Central, bright future there down at Champaign Central just in general with those 2 guys coming through.
Yeah, another guy that went there, friend of the program, Cameron Robinson, went to John A., then went to Louisville, and now he's involved with Louisville in the pitching staff, so doing cool things there. But he was another one from Champaign.
We all got somebody. I mean, another guy too, I feel like I've talked on him quite a bit, so that's why I didn't talk about him. But Anderson Kaufman from Alton, just another one of those. He's a two-way prospect as well, but on the mound, the dude just competes. It's like 3 pitches for strikes, there's all kinds of confidence on the mound from him. He's kind of like a different person when he gets on the mound. He's off the mound, he's just a really good kid, easy to talk to, and then he gets on the mound, he's just kind of a killer. Like I'm here to compete, I'm here to win, and I think he's one of those arms that's going to continue to get better and continue to be one of those top guys in the class. All right, and then we can look at our event leaderboards now. This week we're going to talk through like infielders to know. Last week we talked through some catchers in the top times and catcher velo leaderboard. So today we're going to do infield velo, and what do you guys got?
I'll hop in here real quick. I'll go with Miles Mazanowski. On the infield, he has 89 mile per hour velo, but at the plate, he has 85.2 bat speed, 25.1 hand speed, 98 mile per hour exit velo, and he's also up in the upper 80s on the mound. So a really athletic guy. I'm gonna go with Mazanowski though.
I'll go next. I'm going to take Andrew Talbert out of Byron, now committed to North Carolina, was a future gamer for us. On the leaderboards, he's on a few of them. Starting out with the 60s, he ran a 6.7 this year, which was good for 20th on the leaderboard. On the infield, he was 91 across, good for 4th highest we saw this year. And then in the outfield, he was 97, which was good for the second best we saw all year. And I think that's the exciting thing with Talbert is that, and he could have honestly been chosen for the best athlete during our Hotlist segment. He's an incredible athlete, and I think that's what's exciting about him is, yeah, he's an infielder, but he could easily probably play center field at the next level with how talented he is. But after the future games, I felt like we came away internally. He was just a huge winner for each of us. So I'm going to go with him for this segment.
I'm going to go with shortstop Brett Tucker here from Lamont. He's a 2026 committed to SIU Edwardsville. He is a guy, so I don't obviously get to go up and see a lot of these Chicago teams very often during the spring, but I saw him at State 2 years ago. It would have been when Lamont was up there, and I came away really impressed and kind of has been a guy that I had circled and kind of followed throughout since that state tournament. But he's an upside 6'1", 167-pound frame. I just like the way that he moves around the infield. It's a really clean middle infielder with a confident glove, 85 miles an hour across the infield. And truthfully, I just think he's a guy that the best is yet to come for Brett Tucker. There's still a lot of strength to come in his frame, but I think at the plate, it's a pretty easy right-handed hitter that just, will continue to develop at the plate as he continues to get more strength and more power in that bat.
I'll jump in with Corey Less. Now, he's a fun one for me because I admittedly, I saw him as more of an outfielder for a while there because, he could go get it, he could run, he was athletic. But I thought his showing at the state games kind of made me open my eyes a little bit and really realize that this kid has a chance on the infield as well. I thought the actions have improved a lot. Athletic, fluid. He's got some arm strength. He's up to 89 across. But he's athletic. Like I said, he's a 6'7" runner. And the bat is really where, that's where I fall in love with it. He's premium bat to ball. I've seen him put some really impressive swings against premium arm talent, left. Jack Bauer, that was the most impressive swing I think to this date that I've seen. It was a left slider that he just stayed right on and shot it the other way for a single. But he'll get into the low hundreds for the EV. I just think he's a really versatile athlete that the bat's going to be the carrying tool, but he's proven he can kind of move around the diamond and play where needed.
Staying on this theme of athletes, he's a really good football player too, apparently. Running back for St. Lawrence, and I saw he was nominated for Player of the Week by some, I don't know, syndication or something like that. But Corey Less, big time shout out. I had two guys that I was kind of going back and forth on. I'm gonna go with Julio Ayala, a 2027 at Montini. I've talked about him quite a bit now in the past, but I really like the glove. He was up to 88. That's where he fell on the event leaderboard. But to me, yeah, the velo's one thing. All that shows me is he has enough arm strength to stay at third. Because the actions and the way he plays and the ability to change his platform, whether it's turning the double play and throwing from down low or coming in on a body control play and throwing from underneath, he can make all the throws. And then he's got plenty of arm strength on top of it. He's got big time actions. I think he can really, really pick it, and it's a left-handed hitter. He's still uncommitted. To me, that's a guy that I would be keying in on if you need a left side of the infield guy that hits left-handed, who's not looking for that. Julio Ayala, Montini. I also wanted to shout out Gabe Winkleman at Prairie Ridge. He's a 2026 going to Wisconsin Parkside. He was up to 90 across the infield, and I know he was a huge part of that Prairie Ridge success last spring. They had a really, really good year there for Coach Peck's last year, and he can really pick it on the infield, true shortstop type actions, and can make a lot of plays.
And then rounding this out here with our parent question segment, we had a question from last week. It is, what's the best event to attend if my son is trying to earn an invite to the future games and or state games?
Yeah, I thought this was intriguing, Gav, because I actually get this question a lot. Like where should we go? What event should we go? And if it's a guy that like we've never seen, or even if it is a guy that we've seen, I would highly recommend coming to any event. Like any time that we can see you is a huge plus. It doesn't have to be an invite only event. It doesn't have to be, it could be a scout, but like get in front of us, get updated stats, get updated video, and let us see you go about your business live. Like these preseason IDs that we have coming up, I don't think there's a better time. After the winter where you're putting in a ton of work, you're hopefully developing your craft and your skills, and also your tools are taking a step up as well. Like hopefully these guys are getting stronger this offseason, and get in front of us at a preseason ID. I think, obviously we're keying in on those guys, but we're building our follow lists off these winter events for the spring. Like we are circling guys. Hey, who are the arms that we need to see go pitch live? Who are the position guys that we need to go see? That would just be my biggest suggestion, is like, if you're trying to earn an invite to something, get in front of us. That way it guarantees that we're getting a look at you. You're not just hoping and praying that, we come to some high school game this spring and you happen to be playing and you happen to be in the lineup and you happen to get some balls hit to you. Like, make sure that you just get in front of us, let us see you, show off your tools, and from there, you're at least on our list, and we can go from there. I would say an event like the Future Games, too, like, you're not probably going to get invited just from coming to an event. Like, to me, that's the starting point. Like, get to an event so you're on our list, but then we got to see you play. Like, we've got to see, who can handle quality arms, who can run the bases, what kind of times are we getting on you down the line. It is great to run a 6.6 or a 6.7 or a 6.8 in event. But what kind of time are we getting down the line? Is it a 4.3? Is it a 4.2? Do you run a 6.8 in a showcase, but every time down the line I'm getting a 4.6? That tells me like there's something going on where you're either lazy, or you can't get out of the box. You're not taking a good route. Like how you round the base. This is all stuff that matters. How coachable are you? What kind of energy do you play the game with? That is all stuff that we are keying in on when it comes to guys we want to bring to the future game to put them in that environment where there are hundreds of the best schools in the country coming to watch you. You better play the game the right way.
Just to build on your point, Drew, like I think a great example of this, like more so, how do you get to state games? A guy like Rocco Triolo, a guy, Hammy, you were talking about earlier for Lincoln Way East. Like I think back last winter, okay, he comes to Lockport preseason ID, was really good at that event. Okay, so now we're thinking, okay, hey, when we go see Lincoln Way East in the spring, we need to pay attention to see if Rocco Triolo is playing, right? He's a 2027. So he was an underclassman at the time, but hey, let's make sure, like, hey, if he plays, like, we need to pay attention. I go see Lincoln Way East in the spring. He shows well in front of me. Hammett does the same thing for you when you say Lincoln Way East in the spring. So now it's like, okay, he's kind of backing up what he did in a showcase setting in the spring. So now it was like, yeah, he's a no-doubter for state games, right? He comes to state games, shows well at that event as well, and now he's just moving up ranking sheets, right? So I think that's a good example there. Like the winter kind of can be your launch pad for us. Like you said, Drew, it creates our follow list for the spring. So I just wanted to show Rocco as an example there.
An example like Rocco, if you are an underclassman who is at a big school, Lincoln Way East, where you got a bunch of guys that you're trying to play in front of that are really, really quality guys. Like maybe you're up on varsity and you're not starting that day, but you're taking pregame infield. if we know who you are or if we don't know who you are, like that is an opportunity anytime in between innings, but especially pregame infield. We get there early, we talk to coaches, we look at the roster, we are circling the young guys. Like for me, I go to a game, I'm getting there early, I'm talking to the coaches, I'm getting their roster, and I'm looking at every 28, 27, who are these young guys? Because if they're up on varsity, like they're clearly doing stuff the right way in school. You know, they're making a good impression on their coaches to be up on varsity, to be on that roster. We are going to watch you in pregame. I understand, hey, you may not play this game. You may get in the 6th inning to pinch run. You may get one at bat, whatever it may be. I'll never forget when I saw Jaden Fauske pinch hit for Naz as a freshman in the playoff game. I'll never forget when I was at Downers Grove North with Pete watching the George Wolkows of the world and Jude Warwicks of the world, and here's Ian Check out there just taking pregame infield, but he's getting DH for during the game. And it's like, man, that guy's got some of the best actions I've seen all spring. So anytime you can kind of show us what you can do, whether and at a showcase, if you're a middle infielder, man, and we're looking for a guy to go take pop times from catchers, like go out there and show it off. Like show me you can pick balls, make plays that, you know, aren't quality throws. We're looking at anything and everything that we can see.
That will wrap up episode 46 here of the Bullpen. As always, appreciate you guys listening. Be sure to, if you're a parent or a player and you're interested in having a question that you have for us and you want it on the pod and have us answer it for us, just be sure to email us at illinois@prepbaseball.com. We'll look through those and get it on here and talk through it. So appreciate you guys listening. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Apple and Spotify podcasts. Also, one thing I learned, it is super helpful if you guys can give us 5 stars or a review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. So be sure to do that as well if you can.
Get in there, take that time, help us out, throw a review on there, hit that subscribe button, tell your friends, tell your family. Appreciate you guys listening.